Right. Coffee. This is decaf, by the way. I put it in a coffee cup because I don't want to spill, and I have books on my lap. And it's cold. I just filmed off this fucking video without fucking filming. Okay. To start again. Hi! Tonight we're going to do something a little different. I'm busy editing the video that was supposed to go up tonight, and it's not going to be done tonight, and I don't want to go up I don't want anything to go up any later because I'm already 2 days late according to my timetable. But I wanted to get all the information in there. It's a jam-packed one. It'll be out on Monday. I promise you guys you're gonna love it. It's about soul care. That's all I'm going to tell you about that video. So tonight we're going to talk about my self-care and, sorry, I'm getting a message now, my self-care and self-help reading list. I'm an avid reader when I have the time. I don't actually have a lot of time lately, but I've been making time in the morning and in the evenings. I do this thing in the morning when I get up, 10 minutes to read and 10 minutes to like write in my journal when I get up in the morning, and at night when I'm not brainstorming or writing in my journal, I tend to read. I try and get through a chapter a night. It doesn't always work out that way, but I do my best. The first one we're gonna cover is this beautiful book over here, Noise. Daniel Kahneman also wrote The Art of Slow and Fast Thinking. I think I've got the title wrong, but I'll flash it up here. I have this book. It's just not here right now because the guy my friend who loaned me this book has that one to read. We actually need to make another exchange so that I can get my book back and he can get his. I'm on the second time reading this. It is brilliant. If you guys want to change your manner of decision making, this is the book to read. It changes your perspective because it makes you aware of, and for lack of a better word, the noise surrounding your decisions. Who are you considering? Are you just considering yourself? Are you just considering your partner? Are you just considering the people around you at work? But there's so many different aspects to it that he layers on top of it, and it's fantastic. Like I said, this is the second time I'm reading it through, and I have kept the integrity of the book because it is such a beautiful book. I will be buying my own one because I want to make my own notes. I do not make notes in other people's books. I've got a book with notes in it for this book. And I've been blown away by both of his novels that I've read now. Books. Because I like the way he portrays it in an easy to understand manner. He's very much a scientist, but he breaks it down for the average mind, and I love that, and I think more people should read his work. If you're not used to his writing style, do not dive straight into it, because it can be overwhelming, because he uses a lot of big words, and he uses a lot of long explanatory sentences. Not in a bad way, in a good way, but if you're not used to it, you might not enjoy it. I would say, if you're going to dive into this genre, start with something a little bit more like this first, and then move across the spectrum. We'll get to this one in a moment. Then the next one that is also on loan to me that I'm also sourcing for myself a copy of is this one, The Reluctant Adult. I struggle with an anxiety disorder, a severe one, and my partner thought this would be a good read for me, and boy was she right. It is mind-blowing. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. We went out on Friday night and caught the cold that everybody else has, so if I'm a little phlegmy, as Jade would say, phlegmy the flamingo, if you know, you know. I did not believe that anyone could make anxiety more real but more understandable to me until I read this. I'm on like the third time I'm reading it now. I like to slowly read through the books, and the first time I sped through it and it wasn't enjoyable. Now I'm sort of like briefing through it, but it's very cute. It's like got little like pictures and descriptions and explains quite a lot, and the more I read this, the more I'm like, oh, that's me, and then I'm like, okay, I can poke fun at myself now because I feel more comfortable. I found the other one, Hurrah for Gin, on a thrift app. I will not be buying it because I don't want that one. I want this one from this author, because I think it's just something that is fantastic. And yes, if we have duplicates on our bookshelf, we will be keeping both. Because I like to make notes in my books, my partner does not. Okay, so those are the 2 books on loan. Then we're going to move into some of my more, I want to say heavier reading, but it's not really. So this I picked up from a lady who was selling books out of her garage for 30 rand a box, and I was like, yay! Found this, was absolutely blown away by it. It's The Integrity of Personality. It was printed in, just find it, it's a bit damaged, so I'm 1960. So this is the view of personality from 1960, and for someone who believes fully in the Myers-Briggs and all that kind of stuff, this was a very interesting book for me to read. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and Anthony Storr's view on the personality was very interesting for me to go about. I don't know if you can get this anywhere anymore, but I'll try and find a PDF version, because I've got a few online places where I get PDF versions of older books. I'll try and find a PDF version and link the link down below for you guys, because this is a must read if you want to understand personality and the development of personality. Wow, this blew me away. Then we have this one. This one was an interesting one. I nearly sold this. It was part of that box that I bought, and I nearly sold it. In fact, I have it photographed to sell. It's a psychology book. And it's called The Magic of Believing. And on the back, and I'm literally going to read this to you guys, because I've read half of it, and I've had to go back and reread it, because like, it loses me some of the way, because we're not taught to think like this anymore. We're taught to believe that hard work gets you everywhere, but belief also gets you everywhere, and you need to have both. And it's a very strange way to look at things, especially when we're taught the hustle is the grind, is the hustle, that kind of vibe. And I mean, now we're talking more of like self-care and stuff, but still people very much believe in the hustle. So now I'm going to read this for you. Whether you want to pay an increased income, a new job, a new home, a better job, a happier marriage, or simply a good night's sleep, this book tells you how. The Magic of Believing. In The Magic of Believing, you will see how to tap a vast reservoir of mental power that can direct you to the things you want. So this is very much psychological tricks. And like I said, I sort of lost myself. I was like yeah, so I was sort of like in the beginning parts. And with someone with anxiety, like, I struggle with just believing general, normal shit. This is hard for me, but I want to go back and relearn it and reread it. And I've made some notes. This is my copy to keep. I've decided I'm not selling it, but this is my copy to keep. I am ecstatic that I found this, because if I had not, I don't think I would have been able to change my mindset quite as much. I'm still learning a lot, and I'm definitely going to be coming back to this when I have the time. It's only about 180 pages long, but it's jam-packed. Oh, I picked these two up recently, like a week ago. I often thrift on their app that I sell on, if I have the money. And this one I paid $70 for. It retails for $160, and this one retails for $105, and I paid $50 for. Boundaries, one of my favorite topics. I do have a boundaries video that I will link up in the card below, up top, or put the link down below for you. I still fully believe in that video and what I learned about it. So yeah, this I have not read yet. I literally picked it up. Like, I fetched it 2 days ago. I'm very excited to read this. This seems to be a religious book, but I want to read it not for the religious portion, but for the psychological thing between the literal boundaries. Because it says Christians often focus on how being loving and giving that they forget their own limits and limitations. Have you ever found yourself wondering, can I set limits and still be a loving person? How do I... So it's very much not just for Christians. And as someone who considers herself an atheist, yeah, that's important to me. I'm very excited to read this, because while I know a lot about boundaries, I still have issues when I set them. In fact, I had one a couple of days ago. That's pretty raw in my mind. So yeah, we'll let you know about this. I will give you a review when I've read it. As for this I'm very excited about. Lost Connections. This says, uncovering the real causes of depression and the unexpected solutions. Now, This does not look, because it came from the same seller, it does not look like a Christian book whatsoever, and I'm very excited about that because it means I'm not going to be judgy when I read it. Oh, this one also has this also has a one about the war on drugs. That's exciting. So this, I believe I suffer with some sort of depression. I've not been properly diagnosed because I've been misdiagnosed so many times. Hopefully gonna sort that out soon. So this is interesting for me because my sister and my mother and my father all suffer with different versions of depression as well. And it's very interesting to see, as someone who's so obsessed with learning how to love yourself and obtain happiness and contentment, to find the, I want to say loopholes, but that's not the right word, to find the places where you have like specific guidelines in order to fix the burnt bridges in your brain. I'm excited. This excites me as much as Noise did, which is, I'm excited. Yes. And that brings me to my last two of the night. Like I said, this is going to be a short one because I still have to edit the other one that's supposed to go up tonight. One of my absolute favorites, and everyone and their dog has read this probably, and I still stand by it. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. I'm actually in the process of buying the second one. I'm actually hoping to buy it for secondhand because I tend to write notes in books, so buying them new makes me sad. I bought this one new as a present to myself when I got like credit for something. I got like points, so I spent the points on this. This was... I am still unlearning things that I had to unlearn in order to read this book. And I go back, I've got notes on my phone, I've got notes in my notebook, I've got notes in the book. I want to come back and reread it. There is a friend of mine who says that you go back to these things. My partner's busy messaging me, sorry. That you go back to these things in order to relearn them. You don't get rid of the books that you've read before because you go back to them so that you can relearn the stuff once you've lost it. And I will definitely be coming back to this one. This is a... Excuse me, I'm so sorry. This was a lot to take in. I read it over the course of 2 months. It is also a lot to process when you're not ready to process it, so be sure you are ready. It's a light read in the sense that you can actually get through it in an afternoon if you're not reading to retain. If you're reading to retain, take your time and go through it with love and care and make your notes. Like, for real, there's a YouTuber who makes notes in his books, and I learned from him, and I'm so glad I did. Guys, this is one that everyone should read, and everyone and their dog has, and you should keep it on your shelf. I'm not going to say that again. And then this one was I love this one. I found this one by accident at a thrift store for $20. The Eloquent Body. I wasn't looking, I was just browsing. I wasn't looking to buy. And this one is very interesting because it's a different way of seeing your body and healing it and living inside your body as a soul. And it's definitely a scientific read because it's a doctor who writes it. But I was fascinated with the view that the doctor took, and I definitely will. I'll try and find the online version for you to read online because I'm pretty sure this isn't printed anymore. I'm just gonna 2012. Okay, it might actually be in print still. This version was first published in 2012. So this is this is about the body, and I've read it 4 times, and each time I read it there's more that I discover that I connect to. I am not spiritual or anything like that, if I can say it that way, but I find myself connected to ideas and meanings and things like that, and this was a very interesting way to look at my body. The first time I read it, I was shocked. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. And by the time I read it the second time, I was like, okay, I can get on board with this. I wanna understand this. And I mean, we're bombarded with how to live a healthy life and exercise and drink your 8 glasses of water and calorie count and all this bullshit, and this doctor just takes it and strips it down and goes, this is the way you should do it. And I love the title as well. The title was actually what drew me to the book, because I honestly thought it was about like the feminine body, but it's not. It's about the body as any body, and it's very interesting to see a medical professional who is, we're used to them telling us how to take medications and do this and do that and do that, break that down and go, okay, but this doesn't work for me, so let's try a different path. And it's almost homeopathic, and it's beautiful, and I honestly think more people should read it and understand it and break free from the cycle that we live in. Alright, those are my books for self-care and self-love and self-help. I will see you next week for the video that was actually supposed to come out tonight. I'm very excited about it. Soul care. I am sort of nervous because it's a big topic, and yeah, you've now gotten a glance into my soul care. One part of it.
Bye!